2521 is a South Korean television series directed by Jung Ji-hyun that premiered in 2022. From the year 1998 until 2021, the series chronicles the romantic lives of 5 main characters. More specifically, the series is focused on a moving and hopeful story about 2 young teens whose huge ambitions for the future are shattered by events beyond their control. Despite their age difference, they come to acknowledge each other as kindred souls in the face of life's harsh truths. What do you think will happen to the 2 main characters? What exactly happened that shattered their dreams and hopes? Let's find out together. Each episode begins with a glimpse into the life of the main character Na Hee-do's daughter, Kim Min-chae, who is currently a high school student. In the beginning, Min-chae avoids her mother's disappointed reaction by fleeing away to her grandmother's house after pulling out of a dancing competition, all because she sized up her competitor and felt she had no chance of winning. While she is there, she comes across her mother's diary from 1998. In the 1998 plot stemming from her diary in the present tense, fencing is Na Hee-do's love, and she was formerly considered as a fencing prodigy. Though she's now reached a plateau, her one aim in life is to compete with Go Yu-rim, a local Olympic gold medalist who is still in high school. Hee-do is fascinated with Yu-rim, so much so that she visits Yu-rim's school every Saturday, only to watch her practice. However, when Hee-do's school is forced to cut costs due to Korea's IMF crisis, the fencing team is dissolved. Hee-do is devastated, and she decides to transfer to Yu-rim's school and train there. What is the issue? Her mother doesn't see the importance in fencing, especially since her daughter wasn't doing as well as she could be. As a result, Hee-do decides to be forcibly relocated due to delinquency. One of the ways she tries to accomplish this is by getting herself caught in a nightclub as a child. She is approached by a sleazy guy who is hitting on her while she's in the club. Fortunately, she has a supporter in her corner in the form of Baek Yi-jin. Because he's taken on a few part-time jobs in her neighborhood, the two had already met a few times. After his father's business went bankrupt, forcing him to fend for himself, Na's future love interest, Baek, was also affected by the financial crisis. The following day, Hee-do arrives at Coach Yang's office in the morning in her attempt to get into the same school and fencing program as Yu-rim. She passes the first test with flying colors, but the second test was a total failure. Her perseverance, combined with Coach Yang's abilities, convinces her to let Hee-do attend Yang High regardless. When Hee-do's day of school approaches, she is escorted in by her mother, Ji-woon. The resident cool kid is one of the first people she encounters. Sung-wan, his diaper friend, and also the class president, whom she meets soon after. Hee-do also finds out that she will be training with Ye-ji, Han-sol Da-sul, and Ji-sung. Oh, and there's Yu-rim, who is always late but is the top performer by far. Hee-do is completely starstruck by her idol and hears that she will be fencing against her in a practice match. After a tough training session, Hee-do gets a wake-up call. Yu-rim confronts her with the harsh realities of fencing. Meanwhile, Yi-jin continues to juggle his family obligations and finances with his professional obligations. As the days pass, Hee-do's strategy to get close to Yu-rim begins to unravel. Unknown to her, she had actually defeated her in a tournament, which has hindered their relationship significantly. Hee-do later begs her coach for extra training when a fortunate occasion arises. In the meantime, Yi-jin fails another job interview and decides to get drunk to numb the pain and stress. Hee-do then comes across an intoxicated Yi-jin, clearly struggling with life and having to sacrifice his happiness to pull his family out of their bad financial situation. Hee-do then ultimately decides to use Yi-jin's motivation as fire for her future endeavors. She hands over one of the swords from her previous skirmish and waves goodbye to Yi-jin after their fencing competition. Her mother, on the other hand, is waiting for Hee-do inside. Following their talk, it appears Hee-do has discovered her true calling and passion and is eager to share it with Yi-jin, but discovers that he has vanished and does not return. Fast forward, before an upcoming major event, tensions between Hee-do and Yu-rim are at an all-time high. What neither are aware of is that Yi-jin was also present. He had taken on a new job as a reporter and noticed a familiar figure in the audience, Hee-do. The two reunite and rekindle their friendship, eventually sparking up another romantic relationship. Even as Yi-jin returns to the same neighborhood, Hee-do notices a growing distance between herself and him. At the same time, Yu-rim's stress is compounded by problems at home. Over time, Yu-rim's behavior changes as her perspective on Hee-do shifts. At the same time, while Hee-do tries her best to avoid seeing Yi-jin, he volunteers for a unique documentary project that will mean the two are forced to work together. Yi-jin takes Hee-do and Yu-rim on a weekend excursion to the beach under the plan of working and agrees to allow Sung-wan and Ji-woong to tag along. Upon their arrival back at school, Sung-wan, a student and friend of Hee-do's, is unable to refrain from intervening in a teacher's harsh behavior. The teacher, Seo, had been accused of abusing students. Sung-wan takes a brave stance and decides to leave school. Simultaneously, Hee-do and Yu-rim offer support to a heartbroken teammate who is unsure whether to return to the squad. While all of this is going on at the school, Yi-jin has also been warned not to let his personal life interfere with his career, including Hee-do. He's caught between his job as a reporter and his commitment to his friends and love interest, and he seems to realize it was always going to end up this way. The school fencing team competes in their last competition. Yu-rim makes a decision that puts her in hot water as she bears the load of her family's abrupt misfortune. Yu-rim explains her financial needs as well as her desire to change her nationality at Hee-do's house, stating that she wants to protect her family first and foremost. But protect them from what? Well, on one fateful night, Yu-rim's father was involved in a serious accident. Yu-rim's father was seen slumped over his wheel and later seen injured outside the operation room. The family of the second victim then rushes in and confronts the fencer's father, demanding to know what responsibility he will accept while screaming that he should die. When we return to Yu-rim's residence, we notice that the father has become a drunk over the trauma and guilt from the incident. Meanwhile, we witness Yi-jin attempting to contact the victim's family in order to speak with them. Yu-rim's been threatened with jail time by the victim's enraged mother, and Ji-woong frantically searching for his girlfriend in order to learn about the event. The latter of the two is plainly upset about his partner's decision to move abroad, but he comforts her by expressing his pride and even offering to throw her a farewell party. Yu-rim returns home and informs her parents of her new nationality and that she will head to Russia, insisting on using this method to fix their entire family's legal and financial problems. Her parents, understandably, cry, but it's clear that they've agreed to carry out the plan. Coach Yang joins the fencer the next day when she receives her contract to switch allegiances, with the mentor apologizing that this is all she could do in this situation. However, she does let Yu-rim know that she is always ready to help if any problems arise. To begin with, we can see that Yu-rim was the one who persuaded Yi-jin to frame the story of her trip to Russia as a money chase rather than her father's accident. Yu-rim had compared it to winning fencing tournaments. She might feel bad about defeating her opponents, but she'd never apologize for it because it's part of the profession. Hee-do is aware of this, and when she sees Yi-jin crying in the tunnel, she cradles his face and wipes away his tears. They scrub the graffiti away together, and Hee-do encourages Yi-jin to share everything with her, joy, sorrow, and fear, rather than attempting to carry it all on her own. Time begins to speed up, eventually transporting us to when he is 25 years old and she is 21. Hee-do keeps up to date on everyone via cheerful emails to Yu-rim. Ji-woong creates a fashion inspiration website when he expands into a profitable fashion business over time. Sung-wan enrolls in college and is elected class representative almost immediately. Yu-rim is establishing new pals in Russia as well. However, as she finishes reading the email, the joyful tone fades into stillness. They're about to compete in a large tournament in Madrid, and they're both under a lot of pressure to win. For Yu-rim, winning would mean she could humiliate everyone who talked against her, and Hee-do to perform a national duty. Worse, the media distorts their statements into personal attacks on one another. As a result of Yi-jin's increased workload and his responsibility of reporting the September 11th attacks, Yi-jin and Hee-do slowly drift apart. Yi-jin asks for a permanent reporting position in New York City after originally arriving in the city to cover the attacks on a temporary basis. Hee-do and Yi-jin then end up splitting, but they continue to support one another and have found success and pleasure in their own lives. Yi-jin became a news anchor, while Hee-do married another man and went on to win 2 more gold medals before retiring in 2009. Yu-rim retires in 2007 and establishes a fencing club in South Korea. 2521 is a beautiful dramatic series that follows in depth the lives of these kids who are going through their own struggles but still trying to make their relationships work. It seems everything in their path is working against them, but they remain hopeful regardless. What would you do if you were Yi-jin? Give up everything for love, or give up true love to support the ones you love? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and as always, see you next time.